Welcome back. Welcome to Yoga for Health and Joy. Happy December 2020. What a year it's been. So today we are going to loosen up our hips, open them up, stretch them out, and we're going to do the same thing for the backs of our legs, our hamstrings. They're very important parts of the body to keep mobile, flexible, and limber as we continue growing in our lives. So take a nice comfortable seat, draw your shoulders back, and close your eyes. And please observe your breath. Notice if it catches. Notice if your inhale is longer than the exhale. Just lovingly observe what it naturally does. Now guide your breath. Inhale to the count of 5. Pause, acknowledging the space in between. And then exhale to the count of 5. Pause, observe, and then inhale to the count of 5. And repeat. And do this all with your face soft and your eyes gently closed. Two more rounds. Gently open your eyes. Wow, I didn't want to stop that. It's like a high. Open your arms. Yeah, draw your shoulders back. Open your chest, open your heart. And now place your right fingertips down on your mat. Stretch up through the left side of your body. Keep your left hip tacking down as you lengthen. Stretch through the left side of your body. And inhale, come on up and go to the other side. See if you can stay on your fingertips to make your wrists really strong. Fingers strong. And go over to the other side again. Keep doing your slow breathing through your nose. Next inhale, come up, go to the other side. On your exhale, keep your right hip tacked down. And then inhale, both arms straight up to the sky. Reach, reach, reach. And then exhale your arms down and clasp your hands behind your back. Yeah, curl your shoulders back, open your chest. And release. Okay, so we're going to keep our hips back and then walk yourself out over your right knee. Keep your spine long. Keep your head lifted with the back of your neck nice and long. And come on up. Walk yourself up. And then take a slight twist over your left thigh, over your left knee, and same thing. Walk yourself out. Inhale to grow your spine out. As you exhale and tack your outer right hip back. Good. Slowly come on up. And one more stretch straight out over your crossed legs. Imagine you're hinging your hips and you're keeping your spine nice and long. And pulse it a little bit here. Inhale, press your fingertips out a little further and down as you tack your hips back. And walk yourself back on up. Okay, please move your props to the side. We'll get back to those. And come to all fours, hands and knees. And we'll massage the back a little bit. So on your exhale, round your back. Take your navel up to your spine, tuck your chin all the way in. Inhale, arch. Keep that nice slow breathing through your nose. Actually, let's do this to the count of 5, 3 times. Inhaling to the count of 5 as you arch. Exhaling to the count of 5 as you round. One more time each way. Pause through center and adjust your knees back a teeny bit. Keep your toes tucked here. Push your arms straight. And we're going to get into a nice big hip stretch right away. Take your right knee up to the side. Keep your right toes active. Just right up to the side. Right leg up, up, up. And now exhale, take your right knee towards your left armpit. Inhale, lengthen, extend your leg back. And then rest your knee down alongside, and we'll take it up to the side again. Keep your toes active. A little extra activation of your shin. And now round your back. See if you can take your knee up towards your armpit. Of course, it's not going to go, but you're just giving your hip a nice internal rotation. And now inhale, give it an extension. And drop it down along. And then up to the right again. And then internal, take your knee to your left shoulder. Inhale, extend your hip, extend your leg, extend your spine. Good. Set your right knee down. And now, take your left leg straight up to the side. See if you can keep your knee and your shin in line with each other as you lift. That's big. And now exhale, round your back, navel to your spine as you take your knee up towards your right shoulder. Inhale, extend out through your hip and leg. And then bring it down along the right thigh and back up to the left. And we'll do this again. 2 more times. Good. Knee to armpit. And then extend your hip, extend your leg. And then bring that left thigh down alongside the right and up to the side again. Knee towards right armpit. Inhale, extend your leg, extend your hip, extend your spine. Good job. Set your left knee down. We'll take a child's pose. You can rest your forearms down and rest your head down too. Inhale, come back up to all fours. And then walk your hands further to the front of your mat and really press through the pads of your fingers and your metatarsals, where your fingers meet your hand. Yeah, and imagine you're lifting the undersides of your wrists up. And now come up to down dog. Again, push to the pads of your fingers and push down through the place where your fingers meet your hand, your metacarpals. Carpal tunnel syndrome, that's how I remember that's the metatarsals. In the foot, where your toes meet your foot, that's metatarsals. Okay, get your hips up and back. Oh yeah. Take your feet over to the edges of your mat. Yeah, get the weight back in your legs. And now shift your weight side to side over one leg and slowly over the other. Back and forth. Feel that nice, juicy leg stretch, hip movement. And now stretch yourself back symmetrically, evenly. Bend your knees, walk your hands back to your feet. Keep your feet over at the edges of your mat. And now take your hands up overhead. Shrug your shoulders up to the sky. And then we'll do a few of that slow breathing here. On your inhale, let your head and your torso hang. On your exhale, shrug your shoulders up to the sky. You're welcome to keep your knees a little bit bent here. It's a nice hamstring stretch. And a nice hip opener here. Inhale your head closer to the earth. Exhale, shrug your shoulders higher to the sky. And then let your arms come down to the mat. Take your left hand to your outer right calf. Right hand to your hip. Again, if you want to keep both knees slightly bent, you can. That feels better. Whatever you do, keep the left hip back and unfurl your spine straight out in between your legs as you take your right shoulder to the sky, left shoulder to the earth. Open your chest. Tack your left hip back. Come through center. Right hand
on your outer left calf. Tack your left hand on your hip. Same thing. Unfurl your spine straight out in between your legs. You draw your left shoulder up as you tack your right hip back. Inhale through center. We'll go back over to the first side. We're going to keep our hand on the hips here. We're not going to use the arms. We're just going to feel the action in the hips. Push through your legs. Tack both hips back. And then unfurl your spine straight out in between your legs. Long. Notice your right hip will say, I'm coming with the torso. But this is the yoga. We tack it back. Our body stretches both ways at the same time. 2 different directions. And come through center. Right hand on your outer left calf, left hand on your hip. And we'll do it again. Fantastic. Come through center. Put your fingertips down on your mat. You can bend your knees as much as you need to do that. And now heel toe your feet parallel, your legs parallel, your feet parallel. Now maybe you bend your knees a little bit more. Pick up your left foot and put your palm of your hand under your left foot. Pick up your right foot, put your right palm under your right foot. We're putting our hastas under our padas. A lot of the yoga poses will have the word hasta in it. That's your hand. A lot of the yoga poses have pada in it. That's our feet in Sanskrit. Feel this nice hip and hamstring stretch. Now here's another thing we can do. Very slowly, you can start to bring one leg a little bit more towards straight. And then bend it again. And then slowly take the other leg towards straight. Arrow on the side of caution here. This is a big hamstring stretch. Sometimes less is more. And go ahead, pulse back and forth. So good to have limber hamstrings for our posture, for the health of our back. And now come through center. Take your sit bones apart by taking your inner thighs apart. Sit bones apart, apart, apart. Good. And now pick up your left foot. Take your left hand out. Pick up your right foot. Take your right hand out. Walk your hands out. And I will meet you in plank pose this time. Plank pose. Good. We are getting so strong here. Shrug your shoulders away from your ears. Take your inner thighs up. Take your belly button up. And now hoist yourself back up to down dog. Take 2 slow, deep breaths here. Bend your knees, look to the top of your mat, in between your hands, walk or hop up to the top of your mat. Root through your legs, inhale yourself, reach up to the sky. Oh, you can't see me. You can't see all of me. Exhale, fold. Step your left leg back, set your left knee down. And go ahead, if you'd like, you can roll up your mat lengthwise to pad your knee, if you'd like. The other option is, and I often will do this, is when you're here like this, like you're getting ready to run in the Olympics dash,
your left knee's down. Now drag it forward so you get onto the muscles rather than the bones. Now root through your legs, inhale yourself up. Hands right on your hip crease. We did this the other day. And then lean forward, stretch out your hip flexor. Yeah. Hip flexor stretch, psoas stretch. Stay here with your hand on your thigh or reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Hands down. Straighten your back leg and step it on up. And right leg back. Right knee down. And then drag your right knee forward. See if you can feel the difference that you're bringing yourself to your muscles rather than the bone. And then root to your legs, come on up. And then hands right on your thigh. Push your skin into the muscles into the bones. And then lean forward. You can just enjoy the pose like this. This is one butt stop. Or you can move on and reach your arms up to the sky. Good. Exhale your hands down. Straighten your back leg and rock it up to meet the front. Step your left leg back. Set your left knee down. Now get your block and lengthen your torso out at a diagonal. And you can rest your forearms down on your block. So put your block so you're not reaching, so that you're real comfortable here in your upper body. And now move your hips side to side, around and around. Those big hip muscles can take a lot of stretching. Feels so good. The ancient yogis would say that we hold emotions there. And modern science says they know that we hold emotions, get deposited various places in our bodies. And then when we do yoga, they get freed up. We feel better. We sleep better. Okay, slowly bring yourself up. Put your block on the other side. And straighten your back leg. Step it up. And set your right leg back. Set the right knee down. And then drag it forward. And rest your forearms down on your block. And then move your hips around, all around, side to side, front to back. Normally, we don't move our hips this way, right? So it feels so good to send that energy just shooting around in different directions. All right, fantastic. Oh, we'll go back over to the first side. So set your block over there. Step your back leg up and your left foot back. So this time, pick wherever your knee came down, pick it up and place it back just maybe 1 inch further, and then re-drag it forward. This is another big psoas stretch and a hip flexor stretch again. And now you can rest your forearms down on this block again, on your block, If you're comfortable, you can heel toe your right foot out further toward the edge of your mat if you want to. That's just another stop, bus stop. And if you want, you can roll to the outer edge of your right foot. And we'll do the same thing. Just move your hips all around. Okay. Set your foot back down if you had it up and heel toe it back a bit. Come up to your arms and we will transition to the fourth and final side. Step your back foot up and right foot back, right knee down. We'll do that same thing. Just pick it up the knee and place it back just a teeny bit further, and then press your knee into the mat, drag it forward for that nice front of the hip stretch. Get yourself feeling good with your forearms on your block. And then optionally heel toe your foot out if you'd like. Roll to the outer edge of your foot if you'd like. And then hip, hip, hooray. Move your hips around. You can even say, oh, when I do that, I feel it in this specific spot. Oh, then when I move this way, I feel it there. It's really quite a hobby, exploring our bodies. And come on up. Set your block aside. Hands on either side of your front foot and step your back foot up. Heel toe your feet over to the edges of your mat and take a squat. And maybe you're on your toes, maybe you can get your feet flat. Either way, we can still live happy long lives. This is called Malasana if this is possible for you. If it's challenging, you can take your feet further apart to give your hips more space. And then lean forward, hook your arms on the outsides of your shins, and then see if you can move your hips side to side. Garland pose, Malasana. So many people in the world, this is their default way to sit. So many people in the Western world, I guess we were born with our parents sitting in more chairs, and so we didn't inherit some of those genes to do this. Okay, slowly come through center and see how softly you can lower your butt down, your tush down. You're so close, right? Or quickly collapse. Okay. Lay yourself down on your mat and put the block in between your shins, please. Lay down. Bring your arms out like a cactus pose. Tack your arms down, tack your shoulders down. Yeah, squeeze that block. And now we're going to exhale the knees over to the left, almost to the earth. Inhale them up. And then you got it. Exhale over to the right, almost to the earth. Inhale them up. And we'll keep going like this. This is a nice core strengthener as well as a hip stretch. It's also a bit of a chiropractic adjustment. It just happened for me.
keep your shoulders as part of a good foundation. When your whole body wants to go to one side, see if you can tack that opposite shoulder down. Yeah, for a nice side stretch, spinal rotation. And we'll go one more time to each side. So nice to get stronger together. Okay, and take the block out. Set your feet down underneath your knees. We'll do Setu Bandha, bridge pose. Shoulders, see if you can snuggle your shoulders close together and bring your elbows right in by the sides of your body. Push your feet down and bottoms up. It's December 2020. Bottoms up. Lift your hips up. If you want, you can roll one shoulder under than the other and clasp your hands underneath. And you'll feel, if you're not sort of paying attention, your hips will start to sink back down because of gravity. And then you say, aha, I'm going to push through my feet and lift them back up again. Lift your heart up. Shoulders closer together, hips way up. Make sure your feet are parallel, please. You're in good alignment for your back health. Stay here, or optionally come up on one set of toes, then the other, and you can walk your feet back a little closer to your shoulders, and then press your hips up to the sky. Another big inhale, lifting up. Big exhale, lifting up. If you're up on your toes, walk one foot back out, then the other foot back out. Unclasp your hands and set your hips down. Hands on your thighs, right by your hip crease. Push your thighs away. Take your lower back down to the mat. And release. Good job. Take your left leg long. Hoist your right leg up to the sky. Yeah. Hold on to the back of your hamstring. So you want to hold on right in between your knee and your hip. Interlace your fingers. Now push your leg into your hands. Push your hands into the skin of your hamstring, into the muscles, and see if you can even imagine you're pushing the muscles into the bones. And now give a little tug down to the hips and hamstring attachments. Yeah. Tack your left thigh down, left leg down. And you can point your foot, your right foot, and flex. Very interesting, huh? How powerful your foot can be to stretch out the ankle all the way up to the shin. And flex. And we'll release that. Slide your right heel down on your mat. Tack your right thigh down. And inhale your left leg up. Hold on to the belly of the hamstring. Yep. And you're tacking your left thigh away from you and pushing your hands into the back of your leg there. Same thing on this side. Nice, good hamstring stretch. And then point your foot, inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Pointing plantar flexion, flexing dorsiflexion. A few more times, nice and slow. you time to feel the wonderfulness of it. Is that a word, wonderfulness? One more time. Good. Set that leg down. Squeeze your legs together. Stretch your arms overhead. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And bring your arms down along your side. Bring your knees up, both knees up. Hold on your shins. And we are going to rock and roll up to seated. So we'll roll around on the back, forward and back a few times. Give your back a nice massage, and then we'll do a count of 3 to come up to seated. Sometimes we come all the way up to standing, but not today. We're having another pose down. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3. Have a seat. And then just roll around, come to your hands and knees with your blocks. Come to your knees with your blocks, not your hands and your knees, just your knees. Just your knees with your blocks. So if you don't have blocks, you can use your hands. It's just your torso will be coming forward. So this is preferable. Tuck your toes. Take your right leg straight out in front of you. I'm going to keep your left thigh straight up and down. Okay, hold on to your blocks. You can move them a little forward if you'd like. Spread your toes on your right foot. Press your right foot into your mat and drag it back. This is called half Hanumanasana, also known as runner's stretch. Squeeze your right kneecap. And slowly bring your right leg back. Take your left leg out. And then press your heel in and drag it back. And you want to squeeze the front of your left leg as you stretch out the back of it. So it's full engagement. It keeps it nice and safe stretch. And you get to choose how much you push your heel in and how much you drag it back. You do it just so it feels right, just so it feels good. And slowly, slowly change sides. When we're doing deep hamstring stretches, I like to make sure we transition slowly. Right leg back out. Yep, keep your left toes tucked for stability. Press your heel in, drag it back. Now we're going to activate the inner hamstring muscle. So take your arms and your blocks and your torso on the inside of your legs. Roll to your inner right heel. Same thing, press it in, drag it back. How many hamstring muscles do we have? 3. We're getting the inner one now. The inner adductor, inner hamstring muscle. Good. Slowly come through center. Take your arms and your torso out over your right thigh, and then roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Press it in, drag it back. Squeeze your right kneecap. Slowly come through center and give yourself one symmetrical stretch. Brilliant. And then come back. One more time, about another side. Yep.
Get yourself organized and stabilized here with your left kneecap squeezing your left kneecap, toes spread. A little activation, push your heel and drag it back. And now arms and torso on the inside of your legs, roll to your inner left heel, and then press it in, drag it back. You're doing good. Come through center. Take your arms and your torso out over your left thigh. It's a little awkward, isn't it? Just do the best you can. And then roll to your outer left heel. A lot of yoga poses are awkward, especially the first few times we do them. Oftentimes. Not always. Sometimes we do a yoga pose we never did before, and you think to yourself, wow, that is fantastic. How come I never did that before? And come through center. Give yourself a symmetrical stretch. And slowly bring that leg back. And have a seat. You can sit on your blocks or on your heels. When we're sitting like this, it's a bit of an nice inner rotation for the hips. Okay. Now I have planned a few seated poses for us. So you can set your blocks aside now. If you have a blanket, you can sit your sit bones on the edge of the blanket and take your legs straight forward. Yeah. Or if you could use a towel if need be. Nice thick towel. Yoga blankets are quite nice to have. Okay. So fingertips behind your sacrum, and then inhale your spine long. Shrug your shoulders back and down. Good. Your legs are straight out in front of you, parallel. You're lengthening through your spine. So as you tack your thighs down and your legs are really active, you're activating your whole leg, especially your hamstrings, right? So you're welcome to stay here or hinge at your hips. Stretch your torso out over towards your toes. Keep your head in line with your spine so you can gaze out over your toes, and then you can get a hold of your calves, ankles, or feet. And we'll stay here. It's called Paschimottanasana. Nice inward-looking pose, more calming. Forward folds are considered to calm the energy, our energy. And slowly walk your hands up your legs. And then bring your knees up. Give yourself a hug. Take your navel to your spine, round your back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen again. Good. Now, take your left leg out. Tack your heel down, bring your toes straight up to the ceiling, please. And now cross your right thigh over your left thigh. Take your right foot back. Yeah. And you can hold on to your knee to make sure you've got length in your spine. So now the top leg is on the bottom leg, giving your hamstring a nice grounded activation. You can stay upright, or again, you can hinge out over your leg, and then you can get a hold of your calf, your ankle, or your foot. This is a great hamstring stretch to have the top leg also assisting in it, grounding it.
if our hamstrings are too tight, can create issues, misalignments, poor posture, back pain. And now come on up. Don't worry, do yoga. Right leg out and cross your left thigh over. Yep. And then hold on to your knee to get lots of space in your torso. Yep. And then hinge out over. Yep. And get a hold if you're hinging. Slowing down to speed up the rate of synchronicity. Okay, take both legs straight out. And now lean to the left and see if you can bring your right foot back behind you. I'm putting my foot under my blanket. This is a big internal rotation here. And then sit tall or hinge out over your hips. Make sure there's no pain. Of course, in yoga, never, ever, ever be any pain, ever. Stretching, yes. So if there's some sort of discomfort in your knee, come out of the pose, please. And do the one we just did. Do that forward fold instead of this one. Inhale, come on up. And then lean back to the left to get your leg out. And then over to the right. And get your left foot back, your knee. You want to have your legs parallel. You usually have to do a little adjustment here, get that right sit bone back out, because what happens is our hips just naturally compact. Yeah. Sit nice and tall. You can stay sitting tall or hinge your hips up. Grow your spine out over your right leg. And come on up. Lean back to the right to make it easy to get the other leg out. Yeah. So our hips move up, flex, and extend like this, and they also move like this. Most of us have more outer rotation than inner rotation. So we're going to see what kind of little juicy inner rotation we can get. The way we're going to do it is we're going to sit on blocks. So you can move your blanket aside, get your blocks again. Actually, if you can sit like this, you can start here by sitting on your heels. Everybody's different. Some people that may be excruciating, then you bring yourself up to sit on one block. If that still doesn't feel comfortable, I want you to be comfortable. Sit on 2 blocks. Yep, so you're internally rotating and press your feet down. Look back to your toes, press your toes down. So some way or another, you're sitting with your knees like this. Maybe you did this when you were a kid. I used to. If you're sitting on your heels now, take your feet out and see if you can sit your butt down in between your feet. And bring your feet up nice and close. Spread your toes, press your toes down. This is called hero pose, Virasana. Lengthen your spine, whatever way you're sitting. And imagine you're scooping, actually scoop your tailbone down towards your knees.
Take your left hand down to your left knee and imagine you're pulling the skin up and back, and then do the same thing on the other one. You're actually pulling up and back, but it's just so minuscule of a movement. Your imagination helps. Now, if you're on the blocks or seated, see if you can lean back comfortably and put your hands behind you. Continue scooping your tailbone down towards your knees. Make sure your thighs are parallel. You can stay here, or maybe you can come to your forearms. Depends on how you were born, how open your quadricep muscles are. You could stay here, stay upright, or lay on down for Supta Virasana. And you can stretch your arms out. Keep pressing your feet down. Scooping your tailbone down towards your knees for a big, big, big quadricep muscle. It's another muscle in our body that gets super tight from walking. Whatever variation of this pose you're taking, enjoy breathing slowly and deeply. Allowing a little more space, a little more freedom, a little more stretch. Take a nice big inhale. Yeah, slow exhale. And then start bringing yourself up, straight up. Use your elbows, pick up your head, lead with your heart to come up. Use your hands to assist you. And then we will all mindfully meet in downward facing dog. So you can set your blocks just to the side. We'll be using them one more time. Take a down dog to get the blood back moving through the feet. Walk your dog out. And rest your knees down. Roll over to your backs. And we're going to take Supta Baddha Konasana. So get your blocks in each hand. Bring the soles of your feet together. And now place the blocks underneath your thighs, right close to your knees, where you're getting a bit of a stretch. Just a nice, sweet stretch. You can bring your hands on your belly. And here we'll let gravity help open your inner thighs. It's just nice to do it like this rather than having your legs suspended in space. So we'll stay here for a little bit. And you can just keep it nice and passive, just letting gravity open it up. Or if you want to get a little more joyful juice out of it, you can push your feet together and then deliberately take your knees down further, and then you can release it. So just explore what feels good. This is an outer rotation. Nice stretch for the inner adductors. As your outer hips get a little bit of compaction,
circulation. Okay. So reach down to your outer thighs, move the blocks to the side, and bring your hands back to your outer thighs, and then use your hands to lift your knees back up. Stretch your legs out long. Stretch your arms out overhead. Make fists with your hands. Squeeze your legs together. And big inhale, squeeze everything together. Contract every muscle in your body. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, release it all. And bring your arms down along your side. Let your legs fall completely open. And you can let your palms fall open, or you can return your hands to your belly if you'd like. Close your eyes. With each exhale, let your body more deeply relax. Savasana. Return to your breath. And one leg, set your foot down, then the other. Slowly roll to your right side. Rest your head in your form. Imagine you have sandbags on your legs. Let your legs sink to the earth as you use your arms to lift you up to seated. You have to drag your legs back into place. And from my hips and hamstrings to your hips and hamstrings, lots of love. Namaste.